Hey everyone, here is an update to my Rosey Life Planner so far. I've had this book for about a couple months now, and I wanted to give an update as to how things are going. As you can see, the spine has held up well so far, and my book is slowly getting chunky over the days. I put in TCMC tabs for July to September, and then this is a little peek through as to how I've used the pages. So I put in a little sticky pocket or sticker pocket. I don't really know what to do with a calendar. I've used a bucket list, books that I've read for 2025. Not sure what to do with that page. If you have any ideas, please let me know. And then I have important dates is kind of how I've used that, followed by Year of Pixels, which I think will look really cool at the end of the year. Followed by a quarterly spread. Again, I don't really know what to do with that, so still trying to figure that out. And then we get into the monthlies, which I typically just put in major events and stuff and update as I go along. In the weeklies, I basically put in what I have to do. I use the bottom area as a focus area for things, top 3 things to do, top 3 or 4 things to do. And then I kind of fill in little notes for anything that I want to put into my weekly calendar spread. In here, I basically don't really have a rhyme or rhythm. I just kind of do what I feel theme-wise for that week and kind of get it set up. Some days I'm catching up, some days I'm prepping it in advance. If we move on to the daily, so I did start this in July, but I actually received this about a week into July, so the first few pages are pretty blank. And then I started using the daily pages, and I again have no layout, no rhyme or reason. I just really kind of build the pages for the most part day to day. As you can see, they all are kind of different, and it's really just I typically have a prompt and then whatever couple snippets about the day that kind of stood out to me. We went to Revelstoke here for a few days, so I didn't do any planning. I did not bring my planner. You can see that the pages I've done some watercolor, and it's sort of buckled a bit. It's made the tombos run a little bit or bleed a little bit. The pages overall have held up fairly well to most things. You can see when I use my VersaFine ink for some of the stamping that I've done that it does bleed through quite heavily, but I think it's also that specific type of ink that I use, because there are some other ink pads that I use that do not show as much bleed through. Some like watercoloring, again, I think the biggest thing is when I do watercolor on this paper, it's great, but it does buckle, and so when I'm trying to write on it on previous or the next pages, it's not smooth, I guess, if you will. It just has that buckly feeling, so then it kind of catches my pen, I guess, a little bit when I'm writing. And then there's some more watercoloring. That was a technique that my friend Rob had showed me using a stamp block. And then overall, I feel like the book has served me fairly well. I do like how the pages are thin, and they do really hold up well. I mean, outside of, water, like heavy water washes, like you can see here, this one bled through the other side. And really heavy or like dark pigmented ink, it does bleed through, but overall it holds up really well. So I'm pretty pleased with this 80 GSM paper from in the Rosey Life Planner. But that being said, I will be moving back to my Hemlock and Oak, or not my Hemlock and Oak. I ordered new Hemlock and Oak daily duo planners for 2026, and that's what I'll be using, because I do still prefer the 120 GSM just for the heavyweight durability of it. Overall, I can say it has been enjoyable to use the Rosey Life Planner. The cover and the spine and the pages have held up fairly well, and so I'm going to keep using it for the rest of 2025. Thanks so much for watching.